Yep, there it is. Viewer questions. Hey there, Bob from Oregon's Constant Gardener. Welcome to the... Hey, have you ever seen that movie, The Long Kiss Goodnight? Gina Davis, Sam Jackson. Anyway, Gina Davis thinks she's a suburban soccer mom, but it's actually her memory has been erased and she is some kind of secret agent. And when she discovers that she's some sort of secret agent, she changes entirely and suddenly becomes very alluring, and she chops her hair off and dyes it, or actually, what do you call it? Bleaches it blonde. And it's like this kind of like whole thing.
Yeah.
Mrs. did that last night.
Huh. Got a picture of it?
I should have a picture. No, I don't. I didn't get a picture.
Then.
All right, fair enough. Hey there, Bob from Oregon's Constant Gardener. Welcome to the OCGFAM show to you, my YouTube buddies. What's going on? Let me know in the comments and we'll talk about it. And speaking of the comments, it's going really fast, yeah. We got comments. Viewer questions they are.
And comments.
Fish Eyes 27 said, I've been using Zeus juice on germinating my seeds and have been getting one seed that the plant has a really weird growth. I had a weird growth on my back one time. It was right here. But it was nothing. I just cut it out. Yeah, it was a thing. No, it was not from the Zeus. I do not drink the Zeus.
Or spray your back with it.
You know, I think it might make a good barbecue sauce.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing like that.
Some brown sugar
before oil to get on there.
Yeah. I heard this could be from Zeus. I was thinking it could be strain related. What's your thoughts?
I'm with you. It's strain. If humic acid caused misforming plants,
we'd have a problem.
Yeah, the whole plant would be like all twisted up and this. I mean, there's so much humic on the earth that.
Yep. The world would be upside down.
Yeah, no, I think
reality TV stars would be president. All kinds of crazy stuff would happen. So you're not worried about it?
I would not. No, if it was 1 out of 6, I mean, if you like, no, never. It's not. It's not that. So.
All right. Hey, it's. Sorry.
No.
No.
No. Just going no.
No. Okay.
No. Well, that was intriguing.
It's worth putting in there.
This is gonna viewership just went. You might just get shut down by YouTube now for this.
That's possible. Copyright violations and all. Talking about Hollywood pictures. State Road 84. How you doing, man? Loyal viewer, watcher, supporter of the show. Solid man.
Solid man.
Yeah. I assume it's a man. He sounds. Yeah.
Solid.
I can't remember his name, but it's a dude.
From
it's a
your
dude,
words that you put onto a computer, you are a solid man.
No, I've talked to him on the emails and lots of stuff. He's a good guy. Happy New Year, Nectar fam!
Happy New Year.
Echo your sentiments, Scott. Thank you for all you guys do for us. Drop the stigma and free the plant. I'm getting tired of having to look over my shoulder just because this has been so beneficial to my wife and I. Love you guys. Keep up the shows. Bob.
That was just
yeah.
Kudos to Bob. This is a great show of Bob. Why do you even bother coming over? Just kidding.
Well, here's the reason I come over, Scott. I rely on you for the content portion of the show. The stuff we actually talk about. I'm more like a hey there kind of guy. You know what I'd be? If I was in England, I'd be a presenter. Like those guys that do the shows. They don't actually do anything. They just stand there and present the guy who actually talks.
What was his name? The Gong Show guy?
Chuck Barris.
Yeah, you're a Chuck.
I'm a Chuck.
Bob, Chuck, you know, the simple names.
The simple names.
Scott would fall right into there.
Probably, but it sounds like you might be one of those frat boy dudes.
No, that's a Brad or a Chad.
Well, definitely a Brad or a Chad, but you might be the guy
Scott's the guy that grows red hair and then comes from behind with a club and knocks you out.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Bo, but so if you were an American Pie, which one would you have been? You really wouldn't have been any of them.
I wasn't any of them.
You were around the corner.
I was the one that was going. I was the one.
The guy that was actually in trouble.
Yeah, the one that was getting everybody in trouble. Yeah, I was the one driving them drunk around.
Those were the good old days. They weren't the good old days. They were bad.
Stifler.
Yeah, Stifler. American AF USA. You think that stands for Air Force? Maybe, I don't know. Doesn't matter. He does.
Or American as fuck.
American as fuck.
I am AF.
I got a nice America belt buckle. You see my America belt buckle? It says American Pride and it's got an eagle flying out of a flag. It is
that is
awesome.
American.
It's awesome.
Some would say it's American.
Well, see, Stanley got me one that says America, because he thought that my love of the U.S. was ironic. But no, I love my country.
Amen.
No. As do we all, I suppose. We can move on from that. Don't get started with that. He does 5 weeks in a 1 gallon pot, then transitions to. This is talking about when.
Yeah. It took me a minute to figure that one out.
He does 5 weeks in a 1 gallon pot, then transitions to a 7. How many weeks does he wait till he switches to the 20 gallon pot? This is about the thing where
5.
you double strength around the outside stuff.
Yeah, so he does it for 5, and then his first week into the bloom cycle, or in the bloom space, is when he does that transplant, the soaking, the first 7 to 10 days in the bloom cycle, they have that extra fed ring.
Are there times, newbie question, are there times when your plant is more unable to be transplanted when it's going through its transition to flower, or is it, is there a time...
You don't want to make it mad. If you transition and then 2 days later transplant, then you're stockpiling stressors on the plant.
I got you.
So your best bet is when everything seems to be going smoothly, everything's happy, that's your best time to do anything. Because it's like, okay, I'm going to do this, like a heavy defoliation. If the plant was kind of stressed out and sickly, you just got done transplanting, and then you heavily defoliate, you're just compounding the problems. So you do something, you kind of let it recover. Once it's thriving and it's aggressive, then you go ahead and take some of its life.
It's like with the missus, when you accidentally break something in the house, that might be a good time to do the dishes without pointing out that you did the dishes. Just go do the dishes or something like that. Or maybe mow the lawn.
I think somebody should call somebody to have Bob checked out.
Are you safe at home? Do you feel scared at night?
I can't talk about this.
If I break something in my house, I say, honey, I broke that thing over there.
No, she's a sweetheart about it. I just feel bad because she's so nice. She's just so nice. She never...
Until you fall asleep, and then...
Remind me to tell you the thing about Jonah Hill, because I'm not going to talk about it on the show.
All right.
No.
Bob's crossing lines today.
Marcus Baccalia. Bachelor? Baccalia?
Marcus B.
Hey Bob, I'm a big fan of the show. Thank you. I'm pretty new to the nutrient line, but love it so far. I've seen a video where Scott, the big kahuna, briefly described using... I wanted to talk to you about this one. Briefly described what he called using a target plant for attracting pests to one plant, and I was wondering if he could go more into depth about how to do that, indoors and out. I know it had to do something with heavy nitrogen feeding, but can't find the video. Thanks in advance, Marcus. So, when you have a plant that you want to make it so it's weak, so all the bugs go to it.
Ideally, you don't want any of these problems.
Yeah.
Ideally, you want a healthy crop, you have a good IPM program, you're not dealing with any pests.
Sure.
But if a pest moves in, it's because something's stressed.
Right.
And they have a food source that they can work on. So what we've learned way back, what we accidentally experimented with, was having a plant that was a bait plant.
Right.
Not a target plant, but a plant that became the bait for all things living in the grow because it was the most stressed out one. It was the one we literally just stressed it out with things like heavy nitrogen feedings. And the reason because the nitrogen feedings creates that infrared in the plant. I mean, it creates a higher energy plant, and that infrared is what's calling the bugs to come eat.
This is like when you put a Honda Civic in a bad neighborhood. The cops do, and the cops, and then it's a bait car. Actually, they do it with bikes, I think, more than cars.
Yeah.
So okay, so you would do that if you started to have a problem, possibly.
I mean, if I started to have a problem, I'd still
do all your IPM.
I mean, ideally, you don't want to have one cocooned up, nasty-looking plant in the corner with 1,000 mites on it. But if it just gets out of control, and instead of treating with any type of pesticide throughout the bloom cycle, or any cycle and that, pesticides to just get ahead so you can get your yield, then you create something where the bugs will want to go to more than the healthy plant. So you want to make everything healthy. Yeah. But if there's one sickly one, they're going to go to the sickest plant first.
And you're in bloom, and you've got no really options for doing any kind of pesticide control, and
you shouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, there's unfortunately a lot of people that have options. They're just not good options. They're very dangerous, and that's what scares us about our industry.
Yeah.
Because greed will far outweigh morals when it comes down to profiting. So people will spray shit to kill shit to make sure that they get their money at the end of the shit.
Well, if you're not sure, you should grow your own.
Well, yeah. No, that laugh has to stop. On the show, you vote yes or no to the laugh. That's not a Farley laugh.
No, that wasn't. But
That's like a
he's like,
1980s
he's
stoner
like,
laugh.
I could crawl up a cow's butt, but I'd rather trust my butcher.
Yeah, you're right.
This one's gonna wander. I'm gonna have to.
Which one?
This whole episode. I'm just gonna have to redo this entire episode with videos where I actually put the answer to the question of what you said with none of what I said. It's separate videos.
Well, nobody will ever watch that again.
Probably not. Seth Gross. Hey, Seth. Bob, I'm currently running the sample line along with Aphrodite's extraction. Which bottle in the nectar line would be the most beneficial to add next? Why do you suppose he's running the Aphrodites as opposed to the Demeters or the Athenas?
Well, he said he is.
Oh, because he's running the sample line. I'm a dummy. I was thinking of Spartan in my head. So he did all that. Aphrodites would be probably your next.
Yeah. Depending on what you're going for. I mean,
is that the end of the road as far as like where it makes sensible choices to like there's reasons to do it and the rest of the stuff are some kind of like
no
interesting choices?
It all depends on the plant and the crop and what your outcome is desired and what you're really doing. So, if you're going for just to blow your friends away, to have better jar appeal for yourself, more oil, more aromas, then I'd say start looking at the Tritons or the Persephone for flavor and color.
Okay.
If it's more for yield or more trying to enhance that, then I'd be hitting harder chaos, maybe adding in some Megamorpheus, some Tritons, some more Herc.
So would you back up and you just do more Herc? Maybe some Bloom Chaos instead of going further down the line?
Well, no, I mean, that's not his question. His question is what's the next one? Well, it really depends on what you want from the plant. So I'd say for flavor and stuff, Persephone, Tritons for color, flavor, smell. If you're going for more yield, then maybe more Megamorpheus, more... yeah, I mean, if you're having a potassium issue, want some more of that, I don't know, that's a tough question.
Well, it is, and you're right, but the thing I wanted to point out is he's doing the sample kit.
Yeah.
So he's got a quart of Herc. Instead of going and buying some...
I think he's asking what to add next, not what to buy more of.
Well, no, I understand what you're saying. So, but then I'll...
We didn't answer your question.
No, but...
Yeah, ask again next week.
If you're having problems, you should get into a group or send you an email and figure out what would be next. But if all is well...
Yeah, it sounds like all is well. He just wants to see what would be the next most important thing. And to me, what's important is what you want from the plant. So, to me, the next important thing would be flavor and color for jar appeal so my friends only want to buy mine.
Fair enough.
Consume mine.
Consume.
Not
donate.
Donate. Small fees.
Donate to an unrelated thing, not through shop.
No, not ever sold.
What's that thing? The PayPal. Don't PayPal me.
No PayPal.
I want green money.
Or no, I don't take Visa anymore.
Money laundering. Money launderer. Get out of my father's house.
He's talking about a movie now.
No, that's Jesus. When Jesus was when he was a young child, he went to the temple, and there was all these guys selling pigeons, so you could sacrifice a pigeon. Instead of having to go chase a pigeon down, you just buy one when you got to the temple.
That's lazy.
Yes, not only is it lazy, but not only were they were outside, like on the street, but some of them were actually in the place. And this is a different story entirely than the money changer. Yes, no, that's the right one. And so Jesus, just a little kid, he goes in there, money changers, get out of my father's house. Go out on the street and sell your pigeons. Not in here. Not cool. Bible story there for you. Cool name. Oh, no, wait. Kam Sang Vang. That's an awesome name.
What is it?
Kam Sang Vang. Think. K-H-A. Nam Sang Vang. That's a cool name. Anyway, he says 15% moisture. 15% soil moisture? Question mark. How do you know it's 15%, dude? That's what he wants. Because we were talking about how much moisture you have in the soil, and you said something about 15%. And you did say that a brand new bag of nectar soil would be a good example of what would be about 15% moisture. But
we do a weight, and then we dry it, and then we do a weight, and it tells us we know the weight of water. So we can tell our moisture content by doing a microwave dry down test.
So you take the soil and weigh it.
Yep.
Put it in the microwave to dry it out.
Or
put it back on a scale.
in the sun.
and then take that number of difference and put that against the weight of water, and that will tell you how much water was in there by percentage.
Well, we know the volume of, or the,
Okay.
we know how much weight we lost, so that's how much weight was in
Okay,
there. So if we know we start with a pound and we lose a quarter of a pound, that's 25% water.
Okay, so if it weighed 100 ounces and I get it back and it weighs 85 ounces, I had 15% soil moisture.
Mm-hmm.
That's some science for your ass there.
That's very simple addition and math. I'm
It
sure
just
there's a way better and way more scientific method, but basically...
It seems like something that I would send you an email. You would send me an email back telling me to do that, and I would be like, no.
50%.
Cool name! Cool name.
That's his name.
Yeah.
So the other guy's name was Cool to Bob, and this guy's name is Cool.
I think
well,
this
I know,
is...
but it's just
Yeah, just subjectively
so
cool.
Now we're just saying
yeah.
another person's email. 2
I
days
paused
ago.
right before you brought
So this is
Scott
the
on
same question.
this round.
I just had a paragraph to ask the same question
Oh,
about the
well, but
percentage.
yeah, he's like lifting the bucket and stuff. So what if you? Basically the question is, if you can't lift the bucket because it's a
there's
big
another
bucket.
guy down low that has the same question too.
Oh.
So apparently the moisture, this guy will cool name looks for the leaf drop because he's in too big of pots. Like
Sure.
going from this to this, that's a great sign. That
Yeah.
you're doing that unless you're nitrogen toxic or
Right, sure.
calcium deficient.
Uh-huh.
And the other thing too, a lot of people will go out and buy those ceramic water worms.
Waterworm.
Yeah, it's a terracotta.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
shove it into the side of your pot or in the top, and it changes color with moisture content. Or you can go. The only time I ever liked one of those moisture meters from the $7 rapid test, or the Sun Leaves, or the whatever
it
the
is
brand from China it is, but it's those all moisture meters. It goes moisture. Those are probably the only one of those rapid test meters that are somewhat decent. So. But usually I just look at the plant. The plant doing this, it's happy.
Mm-hmm.
If it's doing this, it's getting thirsty. If it's doing this, it's thirsty.
Problem. Can you stick your finger in there?
Well, that's great for the top.
But you can't tell because
Unless you got seriously long 50... Because these guys can lift a pot that you can test your finger in.
True.
But if it's 400-gallon pot, you have to stick your arm in there to get the moisture content.
It's not good.
There might be some destruction to the roots if you shove your whole arm down to the bottom of your pot.
I'm thinking about those gloves they have for the cows when they're digging in there.
I have a lot of customers like in soft pots will cut a door, put a little Velcro,
Really?
open the door and shove their finger in the side.
Huh.
Do it that way, but
What do? You just
I don't grow in 40-gallon pots.
Oh.
I lift.
I got you.
All my stuff too are on trays, so I just kind of give them a 1 or 2 inch lift. So even when I have a screen in there and I lift them up a ½ inch, I can still feel it.
Yeah.
I'm not like picking them up and swinging around my head going, well, this is about 18%. I got...
So, does it vary throughout the... I mean, because, some people might be just like, I'm going to water every 37 hours or whatever. They have like a plan, but it does vary. You produce...
different cycles, different uptakes, different energy. Yeah, I mean,
different
what
weather.
the moon's doing outdoors is different. Outdoors, it's tougher, but you have so much more... I mean, if you're not... You're generally in much larger volumes of soil, so...
And they're growing roots down to dig for dirt or for water if they need it.
Yeah.
So,
And so outdoors, it's just looking at them and getting a sense of whether or not they're thirsty.
The bait plant, when it's outdoors, I'm going to back up the bait plant. Can you do that sort of thing outdoors too?
You can. I mean, again, it's like you just have more bugs that are going to come because you have way more of an environment for them.
Do some people do other plants around their plants?
Oh, yeah.
Companion planting? Is that for pest control or for nutrients and stuff?
Everything.
All kinds of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You ever try any of that stuff?
Oh, yeah. Square foot gardener. I learned how to grow with a square foot gardener. You learn how to grow beets and carrots and corn and beans
It's a
all on a
common
foot.
situation when you're growing a garden. It's just how you do it.
Well, if you want to produce efficiently, yeah. I mean, most of us don't have 3 acres of food to grow, so you have to grow on.
Yeah.
You can grow for a whole family in a 100 square foot spot for a season if you know how to companion plant. Monocropping is way tough, but I mean it's tough to feed a whole group when you only grow 100 square feet of corn.
Well, it seems like you'd have more pests and stuff like that, like weeds and that kind of thing. Monocropping. I know your lawn. It's almost impossible to keep a lawn just grass. It's a crazy thing to try. No.
You're torturing a plant. Monocropping.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Frank White. Wouldn't it make... Now this is a good one. because we've gone into this and we've done several videos about this and we've gone on every side of it.
Sweet. We're about to go underneath it right now.
Wouldn't it make the most sense to slurry test with a pH of 7, neutral, and then gauge from there?
Depends how you get to 7 neutral. And I think we discuss this every time, is if you are at 8 and you have to bring it to 7 to then test your water, whatever you use to get to 7 is going to react with whatever's in your water, so it's going to still give you this false reading. If you have to go from 5 to 7 with a pH adjuster, that adjuster is either a hydroxide or a limestone or some type of reactor that's going to react with whatever's in your water. So unless you can get perfect RO water that's always 7 or distilled, but even like distilled, you're not working with the ions like you would with any other type of water. So the most important thing for us is this isn't a scientific slurry test. I mean, we're not
trying to get an exact number. We're trying to see what's going on.
We're just trying to figure out, here's a snapshot in time. I just need to know what's going on in this situation. So if you start with a 7 point, or let's say a 6.4 water, and you do your slurry and it comes out at 7.3, clearly there's something that's alkaline. Whether or not it's an 8.4 alkalinity or a 6.9,
doesn't really matter.
You're above where you started, so we have to figure out how to get you back down into some sort of range.
So if your water's 5.5 to 7.5, you just use it, and if it's not, you get distilled.
Well, 5.5, I would definitely go out and buy something else, because there's something in that water that's going to react.
There's something in there just like what
it's going to be causing an issue. And I've got a grower right now that's just got, I think he's in this email thread. And I'm going to have him just email me more questions that'll say that. But for the most part, it just comes down to, we're looking for a reference of, we start here, we're here, we start here, we're here. We just need to figure out how to buffer in between.
Would you say that your water you water with, if it's within reason, reasonably good, that would be a better choice than using distilled water? Or
I personally believe, because there's more natural occurring minerals and stuff in water, tap water or spring water, than there would be in distilled or ionic.
And whatever reaction you're getting here is the same or similar to what you're getting with planting your plant, because you're using that water to water your plant.
Well, yeah, I mean, dead water is dead water.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that have to use RO water or distilled water or some type of treated water will do there's folks out there that have water restructuring beads, or these energy beads that they'll pour it in and it vortexes it and it supposedly gives it more energy, puts back the life back into water. There's one, if you really want to get into it, there's one company in Grand Rapids, or back in Michigan. They're very intelligent, very great guys, good products.
Oh, we talked. No, that was the metering. It's the filtering. It's not the filtering guys. It's someone else. There's another place that does filtering, but they're in California. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But you can get structured water. You can structure your water if you look it up online. There's a few companies that sell these water structuring machines, or just doing. Yeah, the cleanest tap water you can get would be the most ideal. That is not. Heavy in chlorines, chlorides. That's a tough game.
All right.
I feel bad for the folks that live in regions with bad water.
Yeah. Not just for their plants.
We just I mean, just in general. Bad water's a pain.
Corey the Bear, live. Thanks for the video, Bob. You're welcome. So my question is, if I've had some number 4 sitting in pots and I never planted in and it dried up, this is a good one. Do I just slowly water with Hygeia and mix the water to revitalize it and it's good to use again?
Yeah. I mean, dehydrated soil is not bad. It's just it's stagnant. Or it's not stagnant. It's preserved.
If you're watering soil with no plant in it to drink up the water, what would you use? A lot? How would you dry it back out again? Is it going to get icky from doing that? What would be your scenario for that?
Ideally, what I'd probably do is start by misting the tops of the soil and putting little layers of hydration in the bottom, put it in a tray.
Okay.
Put the soil in a pot in a tray, bottom water in the tray.
Okay.
To allow it to wick up.
Okay.
But not putting this much water into a 5-gallon pot so it all wicks up and then it becomes mud. You just want to wick up X, go in there and turn it, get it all mixed up with the wet to the dry, and then give it a couple days to let the dry wick out the moisture from the wet soil, and then you should get back to a regular consistency. If you soak that soil, then it's mud, and it's going to take forever for it to dry out. But if you get it, you know, if you can imagine 15 to 20% water. You can imagine trying to 15% moisture. So weigh your dry soil and then weigh 15%, add 15% in water weight.
Go down to the truck scales at the Viking Freight.
Just basically just put a little water and slowly hydrate from the bottom, miss the top, create a wick, and then it should moisten that way.
Would you use the Hygeia in this situation?
It wouldn't hurt at all, but in number 4 so we put a lot of yucca powder in it, so that should also act as a wicking sponge.
Okay.
So if you don't have a bunch of Hygeia, or you feel free to do it, what I like Hygeia is from top down watering because it goes this way versus straight down, where wicking back up, if the soil's dry, it's going to wick it up no matter what.
Well, we got a situation if there's a plant in there we got to deal with.
Oh, if we just got in there and got that
Hygeia for sure.
Luck. I mean, soak the whole thing down because you have a root mass, so you can literally soak that. I mean, rehydrate the whole soil by doing a water up.
But that's definitely a Hygeia situation if there's a plant in this soil. If there's not, you got all the time in the world in theory, and you just okay. Mission Green. Hey man. Thanks, Bob and Scott, for many.
Country Roots Limited.
Limited.
That's who you want to look up if you want to see the
the
water structure. They do. If you look them up on Instagram, they've got a lot of different tools they use for like that. Some would just think that's a cool bong, but
I don't care if that works. I think it's gonna be fun. just to do that. Can you imagine drinking your water every day? It comes through this crazy thing. You're like, yeah, I feel good about drinking this water.
oh, how much fun is that? No, they do. They've got a few.
It's like those straws, silly straws.
Well, not all of them. Some of them actually will agitate the water as it goes through. Find one they do stuff over there. You can find them a bunch of their stuff.
This is like
growers
massage therapy for your water.
And hooking a battery up to it, so you actually get energy back into the water.
Electrons and
so
stuff
here
like
they are
that.
vortex in it, and then so I mean, they're just re-energizing water, which is it's cool. I'm a believer.
Nice. Mission Green. Thanks, Bob. This is the too heavy to lift thing. We covered it, Mission. Michael Berger. Hey, Bob. Long-time viewer, first time to comment.
Sounds like
Talk
Dr. Ruth.
Yeah.
Long-time listener. I have this thing on my wiener.
Gross Point Blake. When the other assassin calls Marty at the long-time caller or long-time listener, first-time caller, some party. Anyway. First off, thank you for all the information that you share on your channel. It's been a tremendous help, and I wouldn't be near as successful without it. Will the Nectar for the Gods team be at the Indo Expo in Denver at the end of January? The wife and I are going and wondering if we'll be lucky enough to meet any Nectar fam there. Tia. Maybe Michael's missus is Tia, or maybe that TIA means something. That's the abbreviation, isn't it?
Could be.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, it sounds familiar. Let her know. You going to the Indo?
I'm not. No. I have a natural living show here in Oregon on the 20th or whatever the heck, and then I'll be in Michigan. My mother's getting a bunch of surgeries done, so I'm going to go and support her for a bit.
Nice.
But I will be at Grand Rapids, going to be at the Horizon Hydroponics in the Grand Rapids location on, I think, the Tuesday the 4th.
You're doing a personal appearance.
I am. In Grand Rapids, so.
Well,
if you know where Horizon Hydroponics is there in Grand Rapids, I'll be there and probably have some free stuff to give away.
Maybe I'll come out and get a shirt if I need one.
But yeah, no, unfortunately. Newton will be there though. Newton will be at the Denver Expo representing for me.
I would assume that the kids from Culture will be there.
I would hope so. That's their backyard. And then the rec group we work with will be there. Yeah.
Cool. Rodney M. has a long question here. Bob, where are you filming? Why did they put you in the basement? What's with the circuit board there? Just kidding. well, let's just address that. It's my garage. I moved into my garage because I want to be closer to the people.
I mean, yeah.
And that circuit board is the fuses for my home.
They're
So
called breakers.
Breaker.
You no longer use fuses. Do you have like the?
No, I don't got the fuses.
Shove a penny in there.
That was the good old days. No, we had a building that had those though, where you had to put them in and all.
So he has a breaker.
Water on the ground. 'Cause you're in the basement. And you're just like, oh, it's horrible. Let's see. God knows I bugged Scott with enough email questions. Thank God he's a patient man. If I'm just one of many, how does he have the time to run a business and sleep?
I have really awesome employees. I mean, I have a team here that makes all of it work because without them, we are making, me and Frank are in our tidy whities making Athenas in a small tank and being out of business. So, no, it's called a team, having the right people do the right jobs, and it frees you up to do the silly things.
Actually, serious question. Can we get not only our latest feed suggestions? Okay, can we get not only your latest feed suggestion schedule, but I saw you holding some nicer nectar cardstock of each product and a description of what it does. I don't think it's the one with each product. It's got like 5 or 6 on each of those things. You know those little cards.
Well, I think that's what he's saying.
Can you get any of those cards?
Well,
Yeah. He's in New Jersey.
Huh?
He's in New Jersey. Jersey.
So then you reach out to your local retail store and then have him reach out to Donnie Mendoza from HRG, and then Donnie swings by and brings them.
It says the store's an hour away. The only store.
I mean, if you want them.
They have no literature. So, yeah.
Here. There you go. Snapshot that.
For a transcript of today's program, write down everything you hear.
These were closed caption for your. Screenshot.
Nice.
Screenshot.
Let's see. I bought a.
Or Bob will mail you some if you send Bob an address.
Yes, send me an address. I'll do it. Bob at Oregon'sConstantGardener.com. I bought a ton of stuff on Black Friday, killer sale. Plus, I bet it was fresh as it could get. I'll buy nectar soil from here. So that's the thing. It's nectar soil. Costs too much to ship, he says.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah. So, some ideas. Get some of your buddies together and get a pallet, right? I mean, is it quite a bit cheaper to ship a pallet?
No.
No?
One pallet is horrible. It's horrible. Unfortunately, the East Coast, unless you manufacture soil there or you work with somebody who's willing to bring in full truckloads, or unfortunately the distributors and all of our local distributors in that area, they buy it by the truckload, so they can offer it probably the best rate. But there's a few places out east that bring it in by the truckload. They have the best pricing available, but they go and get 48 pallets at a time. So it's a hard one. I would love for you to use our number 4 soils, but if you can't afford to get it, which I would not afford that myself, and when you're looking at these prices, it's soil. I mean, you can go out and get very similar products by using a really nice peat, a really nice cocoa, and perlite. We like pumice as well, but if you just did perlite, cocoa, and peat, you'd be really close to our number 4 mix at a 40-60 ratio, 30-30-40.
Do you think you might throw some one shot in there?
If you wanted to, definitely cover the bases on the nutrient charge, but if you're bottle feeding, it's not even necessary because you will still be feeding. So, I mean, we apologize. We'd love to set up another facility, but there's not enough meat on the bone to keep putting ourselves in debt for making something we don't make money on. Potting soil is a lost leader in our company by all means, but it's something that we believe in producing a high quality one, and unfortunately we don't make enough money to where we can make it cheaper to ship, and the shipping's always, UPS makes more money on soil than any of us do, so unfortunately I'd love to be able to tell you, you just have to find a local guy to bite the bullet, buy it up. Or you can try splitting a pallet, but it's still going to be about $400 a pallet to ship.
So how many are on a pallet?
60.
Oh, so it's still a lot.
That's $400 shipping. That's
shipping
not
plus the soil. No, I understand.
I sold it to you at distributor pricing at $7 a bag. You're still looking at just an insane amount of money for soil.
The Dutchman 420. 420, I hear that number a lot. What is that? Is that there's some significance? Never mind. I tried one of those exhale. Oh, this is about the okay, let me tell you what happened. So, I did this episode because someone asked about using CO2, and I just shot my mouth off of the front of the thing. Don't know anything about doing CO2. Blah, 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 not natural, that kind of thing. So I want to ask you about that.
Not natural?
It just seems weird. It seems odd to me to be, putting CO2 into out of a bottle into your grow. But, like I said, I know nothing about it. Shot my mouth off, got shot down the car. People were very kind, but they were like,
you're an idiot.
Oh, and I was like, yeah, I'm an idiot. So, why would you use CO2? Why would you not use CO2 in a nectar grow?
Well, it doesn't matter what grow you're doing.
Sure.
What do plants breathe?
Yes, but they get it from the air, I would assume.
Well, yeah, but if the air has, if you're an environmentally enclosed space that you're conditioning and dehumidifying and treating, and there's no humans producing the CO2, where are they going to breathe?
True.
I'm going to stick you in a balloon, put any plants near you or inside of you. At some point, you just start.
Do you use CO2?
I'm fat. All I got to do is walk out to my garage and I'm in my grow for an hour and a half to 2 hours a day.
So, some people do use CO2. What are the circumstances where you would use it?
Preference. Need, what your goals are. A lot of people believe that they can out-yield with CO2. A lot of people think it brings in a healthier plant. A lot of people, it's preference.
But nobody's got a hard on that it's a bad thing, except me.
Well, it's not a bad thing because plants need it to live, and we need them there to scrub our CO2 to make it back into oxygen, or else we all...
And that CO2 in the jug is no different from the CO2 coming out of my big mouth?
It's just more concentrated.
Yeah.
I mean, it's less filtered with the bad breath and shit you got going on. So less halitosis.
Less halitosis.
But no, I mean, and that's where like people, I was in a meeting 20 blah blah years ago, and when I brought up a CO2 question to this famous grower, and their answer to me was run around the block and breathe heavy. It was like, and so I took that to heart. I've been in grows where they push it hard. What I've seen, it depends on the nutrient, the environment, the grower, the plant, the genetic. I think plants that are pushed too hard with CO2 carry a taste across, which is a chlorophyll or photosynthetic flavor that you get.
That's what I was getting at.
But I have growers that crush it with CO2, well, like Pig Farm.
Yeah.
I've never been disappointed with his flavor, but it's understanding what level is beneficial, what level is just pushing. And I mean, it's like feeding them too much nutrition. You feed them too hard, and it's the wrong genetic to break it all down. You just get the flavor.
I guess that was the feeling I was getting at, that I felt like in my heart, but that I wasn't explaining it well and don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, probably. So if you already grow mids and you push them really hard, it's just going to taste like mids. If you go really,
really, really hard, you may feel some flavor coming through that you don't like.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's just another tool in your arsenal.
It's another tool. It's something that... But I think if you are in your room a lot, you have a bunch of people in your room a lot, then you've got the CO2 as well. And what do you say about exhale?
Oh, well, that's what we're gonna talk about, the question, now that I've done my part. I tried one of those Exhale CO2 bags back when I was running Fox Farm. I never ran a tank, etc., just messing around to see if it did anything. It did. It made $30 vanish when I bought it, LOL. Other than that, nada. Looking back, I should have spent the dollars on some nectar. That did make a huge difference and packed the flowers on, and they tasted great. Never going back to synthetics. Thank you for all you do.
That's funny. That was a good one. And the downfall of those Exhale bags is the amount of CO2 they're putting off. It's a slow trace amount that's coming off. It's a mushroom bag. It's producing CO2 through decay, which is half of breaking down soil is creating a CO2. When we make bone meal digest, the Herculean, we're creating CO2 from the digest. So, if you're in a big space like this room and you put one of those Exhale bags in the corner, I mean, that's a mouse fart in the wind. It's not going to affect the grow.
Well,
but in a tent, that's where you'd probably see some benefit.
But you'd have to seal your tent then, wouldn't you? Because I mean, I've got a fan blowing into my tent to bring air in. But is that what everyone does? I don't know.
Well, yeah, but again, it's not a concentrated CO2 level. If your garage, you're just bringing in diesel exhaust.
Oh yeah, from the freeway.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
well, it's not CO2.
No, it's dye.
It's some CO2.
It's a carbon for sure. Some are good, some are bad.
Oh, he's got more. Oh, someone said, comments, on my channel that nectar has salts like Fox Farm. They had a friend who used it outside and had lockout, so like any good amateur, they blame nectar. First, I explained that nectar for the gods is organic, etc. I made a video comparing them. We made a video! Tried to set them straight. Check it out if you want. The Real Dutchman 420 channel. I will check that out. That's kind of cool. Whoa.
I guess we're going to check it out right now. No. How long is that?
It's pretty long. We'll put it's 20 minutes. We'll put a link. Check this out.
Maybe we should watch it first. Nice Evel Knievel videos.
Evel Knievel, The Last Gladiators. It's a documentary he did himself. It starts off with him talking to some homeless guys in England. It's pretty interesting. And it says Jimmy Fallon was talking to us. Jimmy Fallon? The one that's a drunk. Oh, jeez. He said, Evel Knievel's in there. He's sitting in his motorhome, just driving along. He's like, I'll talk about anything except the time period from 71 to 73. Anyway,
I have that time period.
this is going to be a long episode. That's not that. All right, hold on. We're coming back. We're coming back around. Without Sanity 13. Love the show. I have learned more from watching your channel than any others on YouTube. 2 questions. I'm just about to flip.
His YouTube's broken or he's banned.
He's
You might be shadow
Everyone
banned.
is shadow man. He just gets blocked. Like, yeah, this is a great channel. This and
Well, I settled here and then my forward button broke.
Jeez, good times. This is gonna be a long episode. 2 questions. I'm just about to flip to flour, but still waiting on my sample pack.
It was the holidays, just so you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a weird holiday, and we don't have staff here. We let them
No,
off.
it's
We don't let
Carolyn. It's Carolyn.
Well, and we give our staff December
Yeah.
off, so there was nobody here to field those. It's on its way. Carolyn's been busy.
What do you recommend to get me through the flour in this run?
So he's in flour, has fed nothing.
He's just
and
about to
ready
go
for
to
a sample
flour.
kit?
Yeah, he's just about to go to flour. I don't know what he's been doing. Just piss on it.
I need more info.
Yep.
You might want to email us on that one, but when you get the sample kit, just start them at half strength for a couple feedings, then go to full strength and follow the blooming regimen.
Oh, wait a second. He's waiting for his kit, but he was wanting should he just go get some one shot or some guy to tide him over?
Oh, then yeah. I mean, what I would do is, knowing that you have the kit coming, I'd probably just go out and get some Herculean and some Olympus up because you're going to need more of that anyway.
Yeah.
And then just start with 1 tablespoon per gallon, pH that to the 6.164. Feed them that 1 or 2 feedings. Hopefully your case gets there by then. If not, do it again with 2 tablespoons. And then go with the feeding schedule when you get the kit. But you're going to need more Herc anyway when you get that sample box. So
there,
that would be the best investment because you're going to use it.
Second question. Also, I'm in Eugene, Oregon.
Now you're in Springfield right now?
I'm in right now, but I live in Eugene.
Technically.
Just barely.
I was going to say, you piss on Springfield from your house.
If the freeway was skinnier or I had a younger bladder.
Younger bladder. I
I think it's your prostate that I do fine.
Yeah.
I do fine, but it's not like it used to be. It's not the...
How old are you?
54?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I
So
don't
after
know.
50, it just starts...
It does. I mean, and it's not bad. I mean, because I've been in you hear this when you're at the bathroom there, and you hear people over there, and you're like, oh, that poor bastard.
Yeah.
That poor bastard.
Not a problem yet for me.
Yeah. Well, it's coming. Do those Kegels. You can squeeze that thing. I'm in Eugene, Oregon, and my pH is about 8.4?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Well, this time of year, yeah.
Oh, it's time of year, sure. Yeah. Or so from the tap, and the ppm is about 30. Should I use different water than Eugene tap water? Of course I pH down, but is that the starting point too high? Thanks for any help.
If you're not having problems, we have our stores are in Eugene. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, as long as you are pHing it down, and what I would do is I'd pH the water down first.
Yeah.
Like I would get a cistern or, 50-gallon drum, get 50 gallons in there, and then pH adjust that 50 gallons so you're just at, 7.
Uh-huh. So let's say you're doing you're doing a gallon with you're going by the middle of the Greek chart, and when you do all your stuff, you put all your nutrients in there, you're at 6'6", without doing any Olympus.
Yeah.
Would you put a little Olympus in? Would you say, don't worry about it? You just go. You'd be fine.
Yeah, because pH is still pH.
Yeah.
So if you're going from 6.6 and you want to add some and you go to 7, now you're high.
You're high. So if your water was at the perfect point where you did not need to use Olympus Up, you'd be okay not to use Olympus Up?
I mean, ideally, in where he is in Eugene, yes, because most likely his 8.4 is a limestone from the Mackenzie River that we pull our water from the aquifer. So
in that case,
there is some in there. And the downfall with that type of water that we've seen with a lot of these guys around the country, like San Luis Obispo and Santa Cruz, California, their water comes out of the tap at 8.7, 8.9.
But not because of limestone.
And limestone. Yeah, it's a deep aquifer.
Okay. Oh.
But they don't have to react it, or they didn't. When they don't react it and they just mix to the food, what we find is their pH starts to climb in their soil because that residual limestone that's not being reacted is starting to build up in the root zone, creating higher slurry numbers. So
not in the moment, yes, but also in the soil, it starts creeping. Yeah. So if you have that sort of situation, would you be using some pH down to get yourself down?
Well, that's what I would do in this. I mean, I would try to adjust my pH of my water as a water, and then have it sit for days. So when I'm pulling off of that, it's reacted, the limestone is fallen on suspension, it's no longer available, and our pH is a steady 7.0.
So that limestone is now rocks at the bottom of the bucket?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, pull your pump off. I always suspend my pump, 4 to 6 inches off the bottom, so I'm not pulling anything that settles.
Okay.
I'm pulling just water up. And then I discard the last 5 gallons of water of the drum just to make sure that any impurities stayed low, or anything with a weight. But yeah, if you can adjust your pH, you shouldn't have to, but if you are seeing issues or your pH is starting to climb, then that's probably the reason is your residual limestone from the water. And we see it the most when people will drop their pH just so they can add more Olympus up to a higher limestone water. That's when you see the most pH buffering that goes there. The higher the pH goes in the soil.
Okay.
This isn't even near over. We went for like another 45 minutes with this, and it's all good stuff. But I think we better cut it off for today. So that's today's video. Stay tuned tomorrow for part 2. I love you, and I'll see you then.
The OCG Fam Show, it's pretty good, it happens every day. It's the OCG Fam Show. See you tomorrow.